Murray Shoring getting ready to do the final countdown.
The last one, the big one, the last
dance.
Few hours.
How are we feeling?
Yeah. Mixed feelings. Feeling happy and excited because the food looks really good and we're going to see lots of nice people here and that's going to be fun, catching up with people I haven't seen for a while. But very, very sad. And if you see me just before midnight, it's probably going to be really, really sad.
Well, here we go. It's come to this. 4KQ's final news bulletin coming up.
4KQ News.
18 degrees with your 6 o'clock update. Good evening, I'm Chris Rieger. Well, the end is nigh. After more than 75 years, 4KQ will vanish from Brisbane's airwaves in around 6 hours as new owner SEN takes control of the 693am frequency and broadcast licence. The Melbourne-based sports network plans to relaunch the station with a 24-hour sports format tomorrow. Brisbane landmarks tonight in gold and blue, ironically colours featured in previous logos for 4KQ, and it follows a push by loyal listeners. Former breakfast host Laurel Edwards posting an emotional message on Instagram this afternoon.
Hello, lovers of 4KQ. This is a very sad day. The last broadcasting day of Australian radio history in 4KQ. For the very last time today, we're going to air. I don't know what the last song is. I know on the 4KQ Friends page, is it, that there's been a lot of speculation as to what should be the last song. I have no idea what that is, and I'm keen to find out as well. But love to all, and here's goodbye. 4KQ is my station.
Those seeking alternatives will find plenty of options on the iHeartRadio app. ARN will continue to operate sister station KIIS 97.3, along with its newly acquired regional stations in Ipswich and on the Gold and Sunshine Coasts. Australia is likely to record its 10,000th COVID-related death within days. New South Wales and Victoria recording 40 in the last 24-hour period. Meantime, vaccinations no longer mandatory in Queensland for visitors to hospitals, aged care facilities, disability accommodation and jails. Workers in high-risk settings such as early childhood, schools and airports also exempt unless required to be vaccinated by employers. Meantime, Australia's Health Minister says the federal government will launch a review to examine all of the previous government's vaccine contracts. It comes as new variants are becoming dominant along the East Coast, seeing a worrying rise in hospitalisations. Mark Butler says they want findings quickly.
We need to see the results of that review in a pretty timely way. We obviously want it done properly, but we want some feedback through this review in the reasonably near term.
The Premier has today announced what she says is a revolutionary response to a damning integrity review into her government. Anastasia Palaszczuk says cabinet papers will now be released within 30 days instead of 30 years. She says the review process has been a health check for the government and she'll implement all 14 recommendations made in order to be better.
I think we all need to take responsibility and we will get this fixed. But what I do want to say is that our public servants work incredibly hard. What is needed is more training, and that is exactly what we will do.
4KQ Sport.
The Seven Network has again launched court action against Cricket Australia in a bid to rip up its $450 million TV rights deal. In another dramatic escalation in tension between the parties, Seven is going to the federal court claiming multiple quality and standard breaches by CA in the 6-year rights deal. The Brisbane Lions welcoming back Dane Zorko for tonight's clash with the Western Bulldogs at the Gabba. They're looking to bounce back from last week's loss to the D's and keep their spot in the top 4. Meantime, troubled Collingwood star midfielder Jordan De Goey will return for Saturday night's game against the Gold Coast Suns. He's been on personal leave following that Bali trip. Coach Craig McRae says De Goey just needs to get back out on the field.
I want him to get into it and just be himself, to be honest, and keep growing and learning, and not only his football but all the stuff outside of footy as well. And he's been doing a lot of work on that, and we've seen growth, but clearly we've got more to do.
Milwaukee M18 Fuel Nailer Kit now available. Nothing but heavy duty.
The fair fuel price for regular unleaded today, 209.9 cents a litre, diesel around the $2.35 mark.
At Harvey Norman, grab the Samsung Galaxy S22 256 gig phone for $0 up front on an Optus $69 24-month SIM-only plan. T's and C's apply. Ends June 30.
The 4KQ forecast. Possible shower overnight, dropping down to 14 degrees with a top of 18, and rain tomorrow, much the same for Saturday, and then rain at times Monday with a top of 21 degrees. For the bay this evening, south to southeasterly winds below 10 knots, seas below half a metre. It kind of feels like that scene in the movie 2001, A Space Odyssey, where they're about to disconnect HAL.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
The current temperatures. In the city, it's 18 degrees, also 18 Bayside, and in the west, 81% humidity. For the last time, I'm Chris Rieger. That's news, sport and weather up to date on Good Times and great classic hits, 4KQ.
Let all